Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. It's now 3:10 p.m. in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. Last time we saw each other was 12 hours ago, about 3:30 this morning. I told you that H.R. 38 had been scheduled for a vote next week by the House Rules Committee. I just got something that I want to read word for word because it is regarding H.R. 38, but it's actually pretty friggin' enraging, okay? So please excuse me while I look off to the side. I'm going to read this right from something. I just got this from Congressman Thomas Massey about an hour ago, and I just got home, so here I am. This is an alert he sent out, and it says, Feinstein and Schumer-sponsored gun legislation that amends the Brady Bill will be added to Concealed Carry Reciprocity Bill H.R. 38 in the House this week. As chairman of the Second Amendment Caucus, I'm blowing the whistle on the swamp. Last week, Republicans in the House fast-tracked through committee the H.R. 4477, a bill titled Fix NICS. You heard about that bill here on this channel last week. The Senate version of this bill is co-sponsored by Dianne Feinstein, goofball out of California, and Senator Chuck Schumer. It will send $625 million over 5 years to states to expand the national background check database. The bill will also advance former President Obama's agenda of pressuring every branch of the administration, such as the Veterans Administration, to submit thousands of more names to the NICS, that's the NICS background check system, to deny more gun purchases. The House bill is identical in every way to the Senate bill, except the House bill will also commission a study on bump stocks. What you don't know, and what virtually no one in Washington wants you to know, is that House leadership plans to merge the Fix NICS bill with popular concealed carry reciprocity legislation, H.R. 38, and pass both of them with a single vote. This is how the swamp works. House leadership expects constituents to call their representatives demanding a vote on the reciprocity bill, when in fact the only vote will be on the two combined bills. How fast did Fix NICS H.R. 4477 move through the Judiciary Committee? This bill broke the previous record for fast-track legislation. It was voted out of committee within hours of being introduced in the House. The text of the bill wasn't even discoverable by the public on the website until after the bill passed out of committee. That never happens. The text was, however, available over in the Senate, where you will find Senator Dianne Feinstein and Senator Chuck Schumer are co-sponsors. I'll have it in a link in the description here for you. Both the House and the Senate bill. I'll put those both on here. If that's not enough, consider this. The Fix NICS bill was introduced in the House by a Democrat 2 weeks ago. So maybe I did my video 2 weeks ago because I did it the day it was submitted. But in a very unusual move, the bill was reintroduced verbatim by a Republican 2 weeks later, with language added to it to commission a bump stock study. 6 Republicans in Judiciary Committee weren't persuaded by the switcheroo and voted no. However, because every Democrat voted yes and some Republicans voted yes at the urging of the chairman, the bill made it out of committee. The deed will be complete this week, when the bill is quietly added to the Reciprocity Bill, H.R. 38, and passed without the knowledge of those who would oppose the legislation if they knew what was in it. To recap, what are some clues that you should be concerned with the Fix NICS bill? Number 1, the first sentence after the title of the bill reads, quote, Section 103 of the Brady Handgun Violence Prevention Act, 34 U.S.C. 40901, is amended, which means it's the Brady Bill, reincarnate. Number 2, Dianne Feinstein and Chuck Schumer are co-sponsors in the Senate. Number 3, it is being rammed through without a hearing in a very non-transparent process, and it will be passed by attaching it to the popular Concealed Carry Reciprocity Bill, which already has enough votes to pass on its own. Number 4, it spends over $500 million to collect more names to include in a list of people who will never be allowed to own a firearm. And number 5, it compels administrative agencies, not just courts, to adjudicate your Second Amendment rights. In Representative Massey's opinion, as he writes right here, number 5 is the biggest problem. The bill encourages administrative agencies, not the courts, to submit more names to a national database that will determine whether you can or cannot obtain a firearm. When President Obama couldn't get Congress to pass gun control, he implemented a strategy of compelling, through administrative rules, the Veterans Administration and the Social Security Administration to submit lists of veterans and seniors, many of whom who never had a day in court, to be included into the NICS database of people prohibited from owning a firearm. And we had a couple of those videos here. They were very popular, and we heard from some of these vets and people who were on Social Security who lost their rights. Only a state court, a federal Article III court, or a military court should ever be able to suspend your rights for any significant period of time, meaning due process. Does the NICS background check system have problems? Yes. It results in tens of thousands of unjustified denials of gun purchases every year. But, like many bills in Congress, the fixed NICS does not live up to its name. It will likely do the opposite. It throws millions of dollars at a faulty program, and it will result in more law-abiding citizens being deprived of their right to keep and bear arms. If we continue to give the executive branch more money and encouragement to add names to the list of people prohibited from buying a firearm without a day in court, and if the gun banners achieve their goal of universal background checks, one day, a single person elected to the office of president will be able to achieve universal gun prohibition. House leadership should immediately decouple the fixed NICS legislation from the concealed carry reciprocity legislation, which means separate them. People hate it when Washington combines bills like our leadership plans to do this week. A few have speculated that the House is combining the bills to ensure reciprocity will pass the Senate. I have some news for them. Again, this is Representative Massey. Senators Feinstein and Schumer aren't going to vote for reciprocity, even if it contains the fixed NICS legislation they support for expanding the background check database. If someone is naive enough to think that's going to work, and they're willing to accept fixed NICS to get reciprocity, they should ask the Senate to go first with the combined bill. Here's a dangerous scenario that's more likely to play out. The House uses the popularity of reciprocity, H.R. 38, to sneak the fixed NICS through, while the Senate passes fixed NICS only. The Senate and the House will meet at conference with their respective bills, with the result being fixed NICS emerges from conference without reciprocity. Fixed NICS comes back to the House and passes because all the Democrats will vote for it, as they just did in the committee, the Judiciary Committee. And many Republicans will vote for it as well. Because Republicans already voted for it once as part of the reciprocity deal that never came to pass. They won't have a solid footing for opposing fixed NICS as a standalone bill. Then we'll end up with fixed NICS, which is basically an expansion of the Brady Bill without reciprocity. If the House leadership insists on bringing a flawed fixed NICS bill to the floor, they shouldn't play games. We should vote separately on H.R. 38, the concealed carry reciprocity bill, and H.R. 4477, the fixed NICS bill. And we should be given enough time to amend the fixed NICS bill because it needs to be fixed, not axed. That is a quote word for word, and something that U.S. Representative Thomas Massey sent out. He's out of Kentucky, and he is about as pro-gun as you can get. Now, he's telling you, point blank, call your reps in the U.S. House and tell them to decouple these bills. Do not combine H.R. 38, which is reciprocity, with H.R. 4477, which is fixed NICS. Keep them separate. Make the phone calls, make the texts, make the tweets, make the Facebook posts right now. Please spread this like wildfire, because if people, I didn't even know this was going to happen, and this just came down to me from somebody in Washington. So please, please spread this like wildfire. Put it on every single Facebook group you belong to. Tweet and text all your friends. Put this out there for everyone, please. This has to get out now because they're voting on this Tuesday. So if we don't get it through the weekend, if we don't start making heads spin, it's going to go through. Please thumbs up this video so more people can see it. Share it and spread it amongst your friends. And please, please help me in my challenge. I'm challenging the viewers to please subscribe to this channel, to get this channel over 100,000 subscribers so that YouTube is forced to send us a play button recognizing us as a legit channel, because they're trying to squash this channel. So let's do the opposite and force them to acknowledge us. Please do that, and tell your friends to do that as well. My hat's off to you. Hope you're having a great day. 12 hours almost to the minute. Well, we got the good news. Here's the backdoor politics. Spread it around, folks. Until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry your weapon. Get on these people. Take care.